Now, from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
Tonight, tragedy on the campus of the University of Virginia. Shots are fired, 5 people are hit, 3 killed, all football players, after a man opens fire following a field trip.
An arrest is made within hours of the shooting. Police may have their suspect, but many questions remain about this latest deadly mass shooting, one that hits way too close to home. Our big story this Monday night at 6, the deadly mass shooting at UVA. Good evening, everyone. It has been a difficult day for not just the UVA community, but for the entire Commonwealth.
And there's still so much to figure out after last night's gunfire on campus. Chopper 10 shows the scene early this afternoon. Crime tape surrounds a bus that had just come back from a field trip to Washington, D.C. That's when police say the suspect started shooting, hitting 5 people in all. The campus went into lockdown within minutes and lasted for hours.
Nearly 12 hours later, police tracked down 22-year-old Christopher Darnell Jones in Henrico County, just east of the Richmond line. And tonight, the UVA academic and football community are mourning the loss of 3 of its players, Devin Chandler, Deshaun Perry, and Lavelle Davis Jr. Reaction from the sports world has been pouring in all day.
We have 3 reports, beginning with 10 on your side's Amy Avery live now in Charlottesville. Amy?
Well, Tom and Lena, prayer service is underway at St. Paul's Church right across from the rotunda. Church leaders say it's important to be here for the community because the community is really hurting during this difficult time. Now, tributes are continuously pouring out across campus for Devin Chandler, Deshaun Perry, and Lavelle Davis Jr. Their jersey numbers 1, 15, and 41 are now all across campus. Some students who live near the parking garage where the shooting took place tell us the shots sounded like fireworks popping off. Then they started to hear sirens and saw the increased police presence on campus. Now, some of the students tell me they were even outside when they got the alert message telling them to shelter in place, but just didn't realize the full scope of what had happened yet. One student tells me he slept on the library floor because he had to shelter in place there. The lockdown was lifted earlier today when 22-year-old Christopher Jones was taken into custody in Henrico County. Students say the campus has felt eerie all day.
And this morning when me and my friend were walking back, it was just like silent. And yeah, it's such a lively environment. The school never has a quiet moment. Like even at 3 a.m., it's not a quiet moment. But it was quiet on the walk back. And
Yeah.
It's like surreal. It's eerie, and it's so hard to process.
Now, counseling services are available 24 hours a day for any student who needs them, and we'll have more information on that at wavy.com. Live in Charlottesville, Amy Avery, 10 on your side.
I came over here because this is where they got shot. And I just wanted to come over here just to be in their presence one last time.
That's the reaction from just one of the players on the UVA football team. And no doubt there's a sentiment of sorrow across the UVA campus tonight.
Yeah, classes have been canceled again for tomorrow. And 10 on your side has been there all day long. Our Julie Millay has reaction from campus to last night's shootings.
The area outside this parking garage looking a lot different now than it did just a few hours ago. This is where that shooting took place after that bus returned back from a field trip carrying those students.
I just want to say there was 3 young, great men, on the way to become great.
Tributes like this banner bearing the jersey numbers and initials of the 3 football teammates killed in Sunday night's shooting are popping up all over the UVA campus.
I just came out here alone just to be in their presence.
Aaron Famoy was a teammate to Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis, and Deshaun Perry. Through tears, he said he came back to the scene of the tragic shooting to feel close to his friends.
Yesterday, I just saw them yesterday.
We are all barricaded in our rooms.
Second-year student Vanessa Falk is from Virginia Beach. Her dorm is right across the street from where the shooting happened.
Living in Virginia Beach my entire life, and a mass shooting happening in my city. I wasn't expecting to come to Charlottesville and have to relive that trauma once again.
Fox says she and her friends had trouble sleeping last night before the shooter was taken into custody and before she could account for all the friends she has on campus.
Worried about people's lives and that is like a terrible feeling.
Many students here, teammates, professors as well, are remembering these victims and posting tributes online on social media. We are tracking those and we have them on our website if you'd like to see how they're remembering those who were lost. In Charlottesville, I'm Julie Millay, 10 on your side.
And now back to the young man charged in the shootings at UVA.
We're learning more about the suspect's background. Police talked about 22-year-old Christopher Jones this morning, as well as what they knew was going on in his life. 10 on your side's Regina Mobley continues our team coverage. Regina?
Well, Lena, I spoke with a woman NBC News identified as Jones's mother. When I told her I was a reporter from WAVY TV 10, she politely said, "No thank you," and hung up. The suspect's journey to UVA was long and difficult. According to a 2018 account in the Richmond Times-Dispatch, Christopher Jones, his parents, and 3 siblings lived in the Mosby Court public housing community of Richmond. His parents divorced when Jones was 5 years old. Later, the mother and her children moved to Henrico County, where the straight-A student spent 3 years at Varina High School. He played football there and was reportedly bullied because he was one of the smart kids in the school. In 2016, he moved to Petersburg for a new start with his grandmother. He also played football at Petersburg High School, where he would finish as a Times-Dispatch Sports Backers Scholar athlete. Jones was on the 2018 roster at UVA, but we are still looking into what happened to his involvement in the football program beyond his freshman year. Shortly after police announced Jones was in custody, they announced he was already under investigation because of rumors about a gun, involvement in a hazing incident, and a concealed weapons violation.
We learned of a prior criminal incident involving a concealed weapon violation that occurred outside the city of Charlottesville in February of 2021. He's required as a student at the University of Virginia to report that, and he never did.
We are told the university has taken appropriate charges and that the matter is still pending adjudication. Regina Mobley, 10 on your side.
Regina, thank you. Reaction on last night's tragedy at UVA is coming in from throughout the state and the nation.
That's right. Governor Glenn Youngkin spoke to 10 on your side while he was here in Hampton Roads this morning.
And our hearts are breaking this morning. There's still a lot yet to unfold, and so while we must all lift up families in prayer, and particularly those families who had loved ones who were killed, and those that are in the hospital who will hopefully recover.
And the governor said the state will offer whatever support is needed to families as well as first responders and the UVA community. There is more reaction to these shootings from President Biden to the sports world on WAVY.com. Everything is posted right at the top of our homepage.
Our coverage of the shootings at UVA will continue throughout the course of the night and all the time on WAVY.com.
Now we'll cover some other news of the day after the break.
That includes the search for a killer after a deadly shooting over the weekend on the peninsula.
Plus, 10 on your side investigates the helpfulness of body cameras in prosecuting cases. Does video from an arrest or crime scene actually do anything for the case?
Our high temperature today was only 50 degrees. Right now we're in the 30s in Franklin. Here at 37 degrees, 40 in Chesapeake. It's going to be a cold night across our area. There's some rain on the way too. It's right now in Louisiana and Mississippi. It's going to be here in less than 24 hours. So looking forward to rain tomorrow. Temperatures a little warmer tomorrow. We'll show you that full forecast in just a bit.
And in sports, more reaction from the sports world on the deadly shootings at UVA.
And Craig Loper is going to have that and more, all as we continue on this Monday night.
From the station on your side, you're watching WAVY News 10 at 6.
Back now with police on day 2 of their search for a suspect after a weekend homicide.
Well, this one happened in Newport News. 10 on your side was at the scene yesterday afternoon on Traverse Road, just right off J. Clyde Morris Boulevard. Police say they found an adult male in his 20s with gunshot wounds. He died at the scene. Police say there is no suspect information at this time.
Your chance to talk about something in the water comes tomorrow. Virginia Beach City Council will hold a public hearing on the proposed terms of something in the water, including who gets to keep the tax revenue. The event is scheduled to return to the oceanfront at the end of April. Tomorrow's meeting is at Council Chambers at 6 p.m.
Next at 6, the tale of the tape. What body cameras can reveal in court, but do they really help prosecuting the case? We investigate when we come back.
And rain in the forecast for tomorrow. How much will we get? Jeff's forecast and more, all after the break.
From the station on your side, you're watching WAVY News 10 at 6.
A reminder, we continue to monitor developments in that mass shooting at UVA. So stay with us on air as well as on NBC Nightly News at 6:30 and on wavy.com for updates all night long. Well, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And when it comes to video, well, that can be worth even more.
Body camera video can add a layer of transparency to policing and the court process. But how does the footage impact conviction rates? Investigative reporter Julie Millay is looking into it tonight.
I'm honestly afraid to get out.
3 high-profile cases involving police use of force. In this case, Norfolk police officers shot Barry Carrington as he reloaded a gun outside a busy restaurant on Granby Street back in February.
The fact that we had a high-quality body camera footage for that incident made my job easier.
After a review of the use of force, Norfolk Commonwealth's attorney Ramin Fadahi held a press conference to announce the officers who shot Carrington would not face any charges. He says it's a decision he would have made without the body camera footage, but that the video
made the evidence clearer and can give the public more trust in what the police did and the fact that the police did what they had to do to protect the public.
Of course, the other side of the coin, when body camera footage shows officers doing perhaps what they're not supposed to. Video of a traffic stop in Windsor went viral when it showed 2 police officers pepper spraying U.S. Army Lieutenant Karen Nazario after they pulled him over for what they believed to be a missing license plate on the back of his SUV. Those officers weren't charged, but a special prosecutor did request an investigation to find if one of the officers violated Nazario's civil rights.
It would have been very difficult to actually explain, let alone sell to a jury what actually occurred without having the body-worn camera footage.
Jonathan Arthur is representing Nazario in a civil lawsuit against the officers. He says, as a civil rights attorney, body camera footage often benefits his clients.
We've been kind of trained to really want to believe law enforcement. And it was a very big hurdle to get over to try and convince juries that, my client's version was the truth.
A lack of body camera footage can also raise questions about officers' actions in the community. That's what happened in the case of Donovan Lynch, who was shot and killed by a police officer during a chaotic night at the Virginia Beach oceanfront in 2021. The officer who shot Lynch had a body camera but didn't activate it. Prosecutors determined the shooting was justified, but in the aftermath of the deadly shooting, members of the community protested and Lynch's family sued the officer. Experts agree body camera footage can be good for citizens and good for officers. But is it good for court cases?
Overall, the number of cases that are entering the courts do look like they're about the same before and after police are adopting body-worn cameras.
Economist Katie Bullman studies the impact of body camera footage on court outcomes. Her research shows implementation of cameras in local police departments has resulted in a 10% decrease in cases involving direct involvement with an officer, like resisting arrest or assault on a police officer. But otherwise, body camera footage hasn't moved the needle much in terms of convictions.
So to me, that was very surprising.
And that was investigative reporter Julie Millay for us tonight. You heard mention of the heavy workload body camera footage adds for prosecutors. 10 on your side is continuing to investigate that.
Now, your Super Doppler 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Edmondson.
Some passing cloud cover across our area today, but temperatures were also really cool too. The high temperature today only 50 degrees. Here's the past 4 hours on tower cam, the time lapse. Look at the high clouds well above the cumulus ones floating by, and then the lower cumulus clouds just kind of staying stationary. Those have faded away for tonight. There's still some high clouds out there, but generally it's mostly clear for tonight. And with us having clear skies and lower levels of humidity right now, those temperatures are on the way down really fast. 50 was the high, 40 44 was the low temperature today. The average high this time of year is 62 degrees. As we go into tonight, we'll likely see low temperatures in the 30s for a lot of inland locations. Chesapeake coming in at 43 right now, 46 in Suffolk, but Franklin, you're at 37, 38 in Wakefield. Sensor in Newport News, I think sometimes tends to read a little cool. I don't quite buy the 39, maybe 41 or 42. Hampton, you're at 42 degrees right now. But sometimes that sensor reads a little cold. 42 degrees in Virginia Beach. Whew, Melfa, you're really cold, 34 degrees right now. We'll see our temperatures actually warm up a little bit in some spots overnight. So by tomorrow morning at 6 or 7 a.m., some of your temperatures may actually be warmer than it is now. For example, Franklin and Ahoskie, you'll be in the 40s by 6 a.m., maybe still at 39 in Chesapeake, but there'll be more humidity moving in overnight. So that should help to nudge the temperature up by a couple of degrees compared to where it will be maybe in, for example, 2 or 3 hours from now. By tomorrow afternoon, temperatures are close to 60 degrees. Why is this changing all of a sudden? Well, there's a storm system moving in from the west. Right now it's near Texas, but that area of rain expands quickly and moves our direction. So the rain is far away from us right now, but it's going to be here by this time tomorrow. This is 6 p.m. tomorrow. So when we look at Super Doppler 10 tomorrow, we'll have widespread steady rainfall in our area. Not expecting severe weather as this moves in, just some rain, and then big snow farther up to the north. For snow that they're going to see, look at this, 2, 4, 5, maybe even 11 inches of snowfall. So a big snow event for the northeast. For us, we're not going to see any snow from it, but we have had snow on this day a long time ago in 1905, where we just had under a half an inch of snowfall. Just kind of a little fun food for thought for there. But what do we have coming tomorrow? A lot of rainfall into the region. The rain will start to arrive during the afternoon. So let's time this out. Here's tomorrow morning and going into the afternoon. Mostly cloudy in the morning, maybe a few sprinkles between noon and 2. I really believe the rain will start to move in after 2 o'clock tomorrow across our area. So from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., some light rainfall. And then after sundown, after sunset tomorrow, after 5 o'clock, the rain really starts to fill in. So 6 o'clock, we should have rainfall all across much of the area. 7 o'clock, it's raining. 9 o'clock, maybe even a couple of thunderstorms. So some heavier rain moves in towards the middle of this event. So tomorrow night, a great chance for a half an inch to an inch of rain as this moves through. Overnight tomorrow night, there'll be some rainfall. It should move out by the morning on Wednesday. This is Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. We'll have some lingering clouds in the area, but notice that wind direction out of the north to northwest. So that's fresh, cold air moving in from the northwest. Temperatures are going to stay cold as we look at that 7-day. Here's the rainfall totals that we're looking forward to. Let's look at those temperatures over the next 7 days. 60 tomorrow, 57 on Wednesday, and then 49 for the high on Thursday. Friday, we'll have a high of 48 degrees. This weekend coming up, Saturday and Sunday, highs near 50 degrees. The weather like today coming up this weekend. At least both days we'll have sunshine. Lows will be in the 30s.
The Washington Commanders are gearing up for a primetime Monday night matchup tonight, and the UVA football team dealing with the worst possible situation any team could this week. Sports Wrap is next.
Sports Wrap, sponsored by Marco's Pizza. Marco's Pizza lovers get it.
I know Coach Elliott is a great man, and UVA football and those young men are lucky to have him leading them right now, because this is obviously an incredibly difficult situation.
ODU head coach Ricky Ronnie earlier today, after offering his condolences to the UVA football family after the tragedy Sunday night that saw 3 players killed and left 2 more wounded. I'm Craig Loper. Welcome back. There are still so many questions today surrounding this tragedy, and sports in Charlottesville truly feel like an afterthought at this moment. We know about the 3 deceased players, and we have been able to confirm one of the other 2 players that was injured and is in the hospital. That would be junior running back Mike Hollins. Reports out of his hometown of Baton Rouge say his parents are on the way to Charlottesville, and Hollins' dad told the Washington Post his son is in stable condition after being shot in the back, and doctors have said he will recover. In terms of the sports calendar at UVA, the basketball game tonight against Northern Iowa was canceled. We typically hear from head coach Tony Elliott on Tuesday afternoons. The team is scheduled to play Coastal Carolina this weekend at 3:30. No word yet on if the game will still be played. We should know for sure in the coming days. Elliott put out this statement today saying how much the team's heart is aching right now after the young men were called away too soon. Tonight in Philadelphia, Taylor Heineke and the Commanders are big underdogs against the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. Heineke will make his 4th start of the season. Now, he's 2-1 as a starter this year. Of course, he replaced Carson Wentz, who went down with that hand injury earlier this year. Wentz is eligible to return next week against Houston. So theoretically, tonight against the Birds could be Heineke's last start of the season.
My role this year was to be back up to Carson, and if he went down, be ready to play. And I feel like I've done that, and I got one more at least, and we'll see what happens. But I'm just going out there and trying to win games for this team. And if they want to put Carson back in, great. I'll be the best backup I can be to him and help him in any way I can. But for me, right now, I just go in there and try to do the best I can.
Now, if Heineke plays well tonight on Monday Night Football, I personally don't think the team turns it back over to Wentz quite yet, but yes, decisions this organization has to make. Now, wide receiver Jahan Dotson, you see him right there, he's set to return to action tonight. He's been out with a hamstring injury since week 5, and Chase Young, he once again will not be active as he continues to recover from that ACL injury. Obviously, around here, guys, it's a sad day. It's hard to really comprehend something like this, and when it mixes with sports, it's hard for me to even talk about it. But these calendars, this is going to be something that they might play, they might not play. We don't know. We hope to hear from Tony Elliott tomorrow.
A lot of conversations going on.
A lot of conversations.
I can't imagine either way how difficult it must be for that team there tonight.
All around.
Obviously, still a lot of pieces to put together on our big story tonight, and a lot of questions without answers.
So we want to remind you that our coverage of the shootings of UVA will continue throughout the night.
And remember, you can check out updates anytime on WAVY.com and our WAVY mobile news app.
Meanwhile, our next newscast is a few moments away at 6:30 on Fox 43, and we'll see you back here at 11.